Evening folks, Melvin here. When I first read Harry Potter, I was transported to a world where magic was real, and even the dorkiest of virgins could be a wizard, nay, a hero. But times have changed since The Boy Who Lived faced off against Magic Hitler, bookstores have gone extinct, I have hair where hair wasn't before, and hey, Nazis are back. But now that I've gained some perspective, I can tell you this. The wizarding world is filled with a bunch of British dum-dums who couldn't magic their way out of a brown paper bag. Seriously, these guys don't know their wands from their assholes. Some of them are just the worst. So without further ado, here are my top 10 worst wizards of Harry Potter. I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good. Tonks may be a spunky hot young wizard, but I am not a nympha maniac. She's basically like any other run-of-the-mill wizard, but she has one special ability, transformation powers. Except she only uses them to change her hair color or look like every other girl on MySpace in 2009. Tonks is the Jubilee of the Order of the Phoenix. Why can't she use her powers in a meaningful way that actually benefits the people around her? Like, make her hands into giant warhammers, or turn her boobies into bigger boobies, or, I don't know, turn into an actual animal like almost every other wizard in goddamn Hogwarts. Seriously, you can't throw a wand without hitting an animagus. And what can Tonks do? Look exactly like Christina Ricci in the movie Penelope. So in the end, Tonks is just a big old magical paperweight. And that's before she was hit with a killing curse and turned into an actual paperweight. But she's dead. When Harry first visited Diagon Alley, he found a secret neighborhood where retailers sold their wares like a magical Walmart. And these wizards just plain suck. If you can't do, teach. And if you can't teach, f***ing open a store in Diagon Alley. Take Florian Fortescue, purveyor of Florian Fortescue's ice cream parlor.
Clever girl.
In the wizarding worlds, you can use magic to turn people's hair into antlers or decide who lives and who dies. But oh no, good old Florian decided to make some ice cream. Ice cream! I think the Muggles cracked that one without a higher magical education. Then there's Madame Malkin the Robe Maker, who has a magic tape measurer. These wizards are so useless, Universal Studios made a theme park that is the exact same thing. Oh, don't even get me started on the guy that just makes cauldrons. These guys should make like the entrance to Diagon Alley and hit the bricks. CEDRIC DIGGORY is a loyal, kind, charismatic boy who just wants to do the right thing. As a popular Hufflepuff, he was beloved by friends and teachers alike. But he also looks exactly like this guy who bullied me in high school, Dylan Waterhouse. So CEDRIC DIGGORY. He had everything handed to him on a silver platter. Women wanted him, and men wanted to be him. And I know for a fact he cheated off me in AP Bio senior year, and when I told someone, he got back at me by taking my crush to prom. Sorry, getting off track here. Oh, you think just because you have beautiful blonde hair, a killer smile, and a humongous wang that I accidentally saw in gym class because you were wearing shorts and no underwear, you think you can just waltz around like you're Kingsley Shacklebolt the mountain? Well, you can't. You hear me, Dylan? Cedric. The only thing he's got going for him is that he died extremely quickly. I mean, look at how fast he goes down. Boom! Total magical glass jaw. Oh, come on! Even as a ghost, he's sexy? How is that fair? Sure, Snape is so lame that he can't even land a defense against the dark arts position after practically sleeping with the headmaster. I mean, even Hagrid got the teaching job he always wanted, and Hagrid was about as qualified to teach that class as Voldemort would be to teach a class on not killing mudbloods. But the real reason Snape is number 5 on this list is because he couldn't move on after getting dumped by his childhood sweetheart, Lily Potter. He spent his entire life pining after her. Accio friend zone. Snape is that one Facebook friend who likes every picture of you in a bikini. But I mean, I get it. Lily Potter was the hottest witch Hogwarts ever saw, and that's not counting the Grey Lady. Damn, I wouldn't mind her ectoplasm passing through my body if you know what I mean. Harry's mom was so toasty that every person in the goddamn series had to remind him the first chance they got. Even her teachers were casting in Gorgio.
You have your mother's eyes.
Your eyes. They're your mother, Lily's.
You have my mother's eyes.
You look very like your father. Except for the eyes, of course. You have your...
My mother's eyes, yeah.
Hey, wizards, quit looking at my eyes. My boobs are down here. But no, Snape couldn't let sleeping three-headed dogs lie. He also couldn't let dead ex-girlfriends lie either, because Snape was so thirsty for Lily Potter that he even broke into her house to caress her dead body while her screaming, still alive baby looked on. Yeah, no, comfort the corpse, not the terrified baby who literally just watched his parents murdered in front of him. I wonder if Snape caressing the cold dead body of his mom warped Harry in any way.
Help me!
Nah, Mad-Eye Moody is one of the most legendary Aurors of the modern era, a pivotal member of the Order of the Phoenix who fought in both the First and Second Wizarding Wars. He also spent an entire school year in a box. That's right, while Harry bonded with a magic Nazi who enjoyed turning boys into furries, the real Mad-Eye was sitting in his own shit watching pee-pee seep into the hole where his prosthetic leg used to be. And when we finally got to meet the real Mad-Eye, you know what he turned out to be? A huge a-hole with back problems. How can he be such a badass wizard when he sits on a broom like an elderly man with a hernia? And this craggly doesn't even fight cool. Everyone else duels with panache and style. Mad-Eye just sends out magical farts with his staff. The dude even died off screen. That's right, the death of a legendary Auror was heard secondhand from a Weasley. How pathetic is that? Even that floppy-eared Dobby had a Shakespearean death scene. The only thing going for Mad-Eye is that cool eye he has that can see through anything. But do you know what he uses it for? Looking at things closer and seeing through his own head. What a waste! Imagine how many boobies he could see! Is what a pervert would say. Not me though. Nope. I do not think magical eyes should be used to see through, say, the door of the women's locker room at my local gym, which is right next door to a modeling agency. No sir. Not appropriate. Like, at all. Nope. Speaking of women I wouldn't mind seeing naked. The Wizarding World is home to some incredibly strong witches. Hermione, Professor McGonagall, Lady Tim Burton. But like Bernie Bott's every flavor bean, you're bound to come across a rotten egg in the bunch. FLEUR, DELACOUR, well, pretty hot, is a truly sucky wizard. Even with 4 Triwizard champions, Harry was really only ever competing against 2. This is the best Beauxbatons has to offer. She couldn't even get past the Myrmidon and almost left her sister to die. I guess it makes sense when your school just feeds you cigarettes every day and the only magic they teach you how to use is this. Hey, I can send moss flying out of my clothes too, and I don't even have any magic. Not sure why I'm bragging about that. Look, not every wizard is good at magic when they start. It pains me to say this, but even Neville Longbottom used to be a shitty wizard. He was a real Fleur de la Cour those first few years. But what did he do? He learned. He listened. He worked his core until it was tight as f***. But when Fleur was faced with equal terribleness, what did she do? Did she ask for help from those better than her? Did she work her spells until they became second nature? Did she challenge herself to be the best witch she could be? Nope, she got married to a Weasley. The best looking Weasley, I might add. Oh, you know, the one who worked at Gringotts and whose family won the Daily Prophet Grand Prize galleon draw a few years back. Now, I ain't saying she's a galleon digger, but she ain't messing with no broke wizards. Joke's on FLEUR, because the Weasleys spent all that money years ago on a trip to Egypt, and now they're poor again. I hope you enjoy living in a cottage made of shells that also doubles as a house elf burial ground. And that, folks, is why you don't go to college in France. I think it should be no surprise to anyone that this ginger asshole showed up here. You're probably just surprised he wasn't further down on the list, since Fred Savage from The Wizard is a better wizard than Ron Weasley. But the real reason he's here isn't just that he's terrible. I mean, he's practically the Steve Urkel of Gryffindor. It's that Ron is a magnificent coward. He'll piss his pants any chance he gets, and he's so much of a pussy he has to ask permission to freak out. Can we panic now? He's more afraid than Harry or Hermione, and he grew up in the goddamn wizarding world. He has no fucking excuse. Remember when you had that one friend who had the Nintendo Wii, and the only reason you kept him around was to get in on some of that sweet, sweet motion-controlled action? Harry's friendship with Ron is like that, except instead of playing with the Nintendo Wii, it's about hanging out with Ron's much cooler older brothers and getting some action with his younger sister. Why couldn't Harry pick a good sidekick, like perfect wizard Neville Longbottom? Now that is the dude who has your back. Like when he gave Harry that gillyweed so Harry could survive the second Triwizard Challenge? You know what Ron was doing? Being a sulky little piss-face, slightly annoyed that he sat on the sidelines yet again while Harry took all the glory. Way to be a supportive friend, you little bitch. And that wasn't the last time Ron totally left his friends out in the lurch. Remember when Ron ran away from Harry and Hermione on the Great Meandering Horcrux hunt because he hates camping? The worst part about this is that Dumbledore knew this was going to happen and gave him a Get Out of Azkaban free card. At least the only good thing that came from Ron was that he and Hermione became the perfect couple. JK, Ron and Hermione are the worst. They don't make any sense, and this is coming from the author of these books. She thinks Hermione and Ron never should have gotten together, and she's right. Why in Gop's name would Hermione choose a milquetoast redhead over the chosen one? And Ron knows this too. His greatest fear is the fanfiction becoming true. Horcrux Harry and Hermione have more chemistry than Ron does with a broom. Oh boy, I have never hated a witch or wizard like I hate Dolores Umbridge. First of all, she's a... As I was saying, Dolores Umbridge is one of J.K. Rowling's greatest villains. A constant thorn in Harry Potter's side, she's a total... Okay? She is a total buzzkill, taking every opportunity to de-whimsy Hogwarts and... God damn it, you know what? F it. Forget the torturing kids, the unnecessary bureaucracy, the fact that she's power hungry and uses her power to hurt everyone amazing. I hate this woman because she can't stop clearing her throat. Oh yeah, it's a world where you can eat a jelly bean that tastes like fingernails, but oh no, you can't find a goddamn lozenge to save your life, and I have to listen to it. Maybe she's constantly swallowing magical cat hairs while those kitten plates she has in her office and... I f***ing hate Dolores Umbridge. Voldemort is one of the most powerful, terrifying, balls-out, crazy wizards in the world of Harry Potter. He's dangerous and unpredictable, willing to Avada Kedavra even the most loyal of minions. And what killed this unstoppable madman? If you said a 17-year-old boy with an unbeatable wand, you're wrong. You know what really killed him? Hubris. No two ways about it. That snake-slitted motherfucker got cocky. Why else would he play with his food when he's had Potter in his sights time and time and time and time again? Which leads me to this whole Horcrux thing. If I were hiding 7 pieces of my soul, so small part of me would be alive forever, I wouldn't put those things in super important historical relics that appear in places they quite obviously don't belong. You wouldn't walk into my room and think, oh hey, what's the Declaration of Independence doing next to all those Gundam toys? No, you put your soul into something that would be hidden in plain sight, like a copy of Blast Corps for the N64. You walk into a room and see that, you wouldn't think twice. You just think, hey, there's just one of the most underrated games of that generation. But guess what? It's a Horcrux, motherfucker. In the end, Voldemort was simply his own worst enemy. Also, apparently he has the same vocal coach as Eddie Redmayne from Jupiter Ascending.
Harry Potter.
I create life!
And I destroy it.
Hands down, Harry Potter is the worst wizard in the whole goddamn wizarding world. Half of Hogwarts has come to save his muggle-born ass at one time or another, and not just the powerful wizards like Dumbledore. Remus Lupin, Cedric Diggory, Sirius Black, the entire f***ing Order of the Phoenix, Dobby, Hedwig, himself at least twice, are just a few of the people who've had to come to this dumb shit's help because apparently the only spell Harry likes to use is Expelliarmus.
Expelliarmus! 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 Expelliarmus!
I mean, Harry would have seen the digestive tract of a basilisk if it weren't for a bird in a fucking hat. God, the dude even needs help tying his shoes! On the other hand, nice. Look, everyone in the wizarding world has something they're good at. Hermione has her brains, Ron has... wizard's chess.
That's wizard's chess.
Now this is pod racing.
And Harry is really good at flying around on a broom and having decent reflexes. Well, guess what? My reflexes are just as good as Harry's. Bam! We're gonna Photoshop that in, right? And the only thing Harry loved more than shoving his face into a bowl of magical memory sperm was getting people killed, like Cedric Diggory, Sirius Black, Professor Quirrell, Dumbledore, Mad-Eye Moody, Bathilda Bagshot, Crabbe, George Weasley's left ear, Remus Lupin, Tonks, his own goddamn parents, Lavender Brown, Griphook, Colin Creevey, Severus Snape, Peter Pettigrew, Voldemort, and that's not counting all the other red shirts who paid a visit to Ghost Platform 9 3/4 after the Battle of Hogwarts. You know, all the people who saved his life at one point or another. He even used his own goddamn owl as a shield.
She was trying to protect me.
Yeah, Harry, who didn't? But hey, if you died, at least Harry named one of his kids after you. If he has another kid, he'd probably name it Dobby, that unicorn Voldemort ate, Potter. But the absolute worst thing about Harry Potter, besides the fact that he only seems to save the world around June, you know, when finals are happening, is that he almost wasn't the lead character. It was a 50-50 shot that Voldemort would choose to try to kill Harry instead of Neville. That's right, Neville Smoke Show Longbottom, actual name, was almost the main character of a multi-billion-dollar franchise. But oh no, Voldemort decided, hey, why go with a prime rib when I can just have chicken McNuggets? Can you imagine how much radder these books and movies would have been if Neville was the main character? If you can't, I went ahead and rewrote the book switching out the main characters. Email me if you want to read the adventures of Neville Longbottom, the boy who was hot as f***. Well, mischief managed. Those are my top 10 worst wizards in Harry Potter. And before you start sending me hate mail about my picks, I'll just say this. Gilderoy Lockhart was misunderstood. I refuse to knock down a man who's just trying to make a living. Besides, what's a few obliviates between friends? Well, that's all the time we have for you tonight, folks. I'm Melvin, and I'll see you next time. Whew. More like Neville Schlongbottom. Hey folks, thanks for watching. If you want to see a playlist of my other top 10s, click the box on the left. Or if you'd rather see another awesome video, click the box on the right. And be sure to subscribe to keep updated on all the latest Warp Zone content coming at you every Tuesday and Thursday. Anywho, I'm gonna make like Ron during the Horcrux hunt and just bounce, I guess. Just like that. So, bye.